Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to speak with you in the capacity of the coordinator of the DC4LT project. And I will just for 2-3 minutes introduce what the project is about. The project is entitled Digital Competencies for Language Teachers, and obviously we work towards developing the digital competencies and skills specifically for language teachers. We are 5 universities in Norway, Greece, a company of Pixel in Italy, and then also in Cyprus and Russia. We are supported by an Erasmus grant. The biggest, the major, most important objectives of the project are to foster sustainable integration of digital technology in language learning overall, but we do it through facilitating language teachers to become professionals and in online and in blended learning modes. As I should mention also, the project was started before the pandemic, and we were thinking at that time that the language teachers need digital competencies to teach online in a blended mode. Then we also, of course, guide the teachers in a critical use of digital resources and tools and facilitate communities of language teachers. In the 3 presentations that we will have today, we will present the results of this project we have so far. They go independently and they are probably of interest to most of you. And I should also mention here that these results are at the moment published in 2 articles. Digital Competencies for Language Teachers is published in the Human-Computer Interaction International Conference 2020, and their second article, Digital Searchlight, a study of digital skills being thought after among language teachers, is published in the Intent Conference 2020. All the results of the first presentations are also to appear in a report, Digital Competencies in Language Education, that should be online any day. So, in the first presentation, we talk about Digital Competencies for Language Teachers survey, but the survey itself is the major part of it. We start by giving a bit of a background study we've conducted by looking at the European and selected national policies in digital competencies for language teachers. And also we've done a job market analysis to see if these policies are reflected in the job announcements for language teachers. And here I would like to leave the stage again for Antonio to start the section on the review of policies and the job market study. And Antonio, you need to unmute yourself so that others can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Mikhail. As anticipated by my colleague, we started with an analysis of within the survey that we produced. We made also an overview of policies that regulate the development of digital skills for language teachers. So we first looked at the European policies and then at the national policies in the partners countries, which are Norway, Russia, Cyprus, Greece, and Italy. At European level, I will just mention 2 documents: the Europe 2020 strategy, according to which digital technologies are enablers of a step change in learning and teaching practices. However, they do not guarantee it. To consolidate progress and to ensure scale and sustainability, education institutions need to review their organizational strategies in order to enhance their capacity for innovation. And then the second document that I would like to mention is the Shaping Europe Digital Future, which was published in February 2020, so immediately before the pandemic. And once again, this strange context underlined the importance of digital technologies. Anyway, within this document, digital technologies are defined as changing our daily life, our way of working, and doing business, doing communication, social media interaction, e-commerce, and digital enterprises are transforming our world. So from this macro area at European level, we also moved to what is happening in the national policies within the countries which are involved in these projects. Again, Norway, Russia, Cyprus, Greece, and Italy. So I won't mention all the specific policies which are implemented in the partner countries, but I will make reference to some recurrent elements in how digital education is managed and improved at national level within these partner countries. There is a strong echo at national level about digital education. There are national policies, usually with high-sounding names and ambitious objectives aiming at developing digital education. But on the other hand, digitalization strategy is connected to single institutions and persons initiative. Digitalization strategies is anchored solemnly in the management. It is, we also underlined a kind of lack of adequate IT resources and infrastructures, and lags behind EU average and national results in terms of investments in education and digitalization. So we underlined in most of the countries involved within this project this kind of double situation between what is promised at national level and what is concretely carried out at local and university level above all. And what happens about language teacher, with specific reference to language teachers, the main interventions which have been carried out so far at national level in terms of digital skills are seeking the involvement of external experts in education and training, providing updates for language teachers, providing laboratories or workshops with leading edge technologies, and linking curricula to the needs of the labor market. I would like to focus on this last aspect. So linking curricula to the needs of the labor markets. Is it real? So we started from this and we realized a kind of market study linking curricula to the needs of the labor market. Is that real? Even more, how does the language teacher labor market look like today? Are digital skills taken into account while looking for a language teacher? And those were the premises of the market study that we realized. And within this market study, we also started from a new definition of market study, which is consistent with what we were looking for. So according to the main objective of our project, we can consider market study as the process of determining the availability of specific skills and competencies through research conducted directly with potential customers. Market studies allows a consortium to discover the target market and get opinions and other feedbacks from both education providers about the needs required by the market and consumers about their familiarity with the defined skills and competencies. So the methodology that we used within this market study was quite simple. As the objective was to analyze the needs of the education market, we identified in the available job announcements the best tool to understand whether the emerging needs, availability of digital skills and competencies by language teachers are taken into account or not. Concretely, do the job announcements looking for language teachers mention those digital skills which seems to be almost mandatory today? Once again, the expected answer would have been yes, but the reality went beyond the wildest expectation, because we have been analyzing a lot of job announcements in 11 countries. The keywords that we used were language teacher, English, Greek, Italian teacher equivalents, and we were able to analyze 854 relevant job announcements, and the result is more or less like this. We were able to identify the job announcement with mention about digital skills, and we also divided them into different categories. I will go further about these results. Anyway, this is what we found. Almost 85% of the job announcements for language teachers do not require digital skills. And it is quite a pity considering the huge potentialities offered by ICT in language teaching, in particular within this specific historical context. Just considering the job announcement for language teachers mentioning digital skills as an essential requirement, more than half of them, 59%, refer to generic digital skills, good ICT competencies, good IT skills, confident users of modern technologies, and so on. A quarter of them, 26%, still refer to old-fashioned digital skills, typing speed, strong skills in PowerPoint, expert in Office. Only 14% of them refer to specific and updated digital skills, and when specific and updated digital skills are required, they are not anyway mandatory. So those were more or less the results of this market study that we conducted within the survey. And again, it is important to understand, because some questions may arise from this market study, why digital skills are not mentioned? Do schools rely on in-house training? How are the policies interpreted? Market study has to create questions, and we, the consortium, and all people interested in language teaching and learning should reply to those questions. And those are just graphics about the results of the market study that we conducted, but I already talked too much. So I now give the word to my colleague Daria for the results of the survey. Daria has the power and already.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Antonio.
The stage is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. My name is Daria Zhukova. I'm from ITMO University from Russia, and today I will present you the results of the survey that our consortium launched last year, Digital Competence Assessment Survey for Language Teachers. So we aim to find out what instructional models do language teachers use in computer-supported language learning, what attitude do language teachers have towards the use of digital technologies, how do language teachers assess their digital competence level at that moment, and how satisfied they are with their level of this digital competency, and finally, what kind of training they need. And finally, what do language teachers think of the institutional aid in personal and professional development towards digital competencies? Generally, slightly more than 300 participants took part in the survey. 91% of them are language teachers, and 9% administrators or like policymakers working in language learning. The latter group could not be considered as representative. This is why all the results I will present further relate to the language teachers. The survey consisted of 48 questions that were structured in 8 topics, and they are listed here on the slide. And we will consider the results for each topic in more details now. So the respondents were mostly female, of 35 years old and older, as you can see. They represented, all in all, 43 countries. Their level of education was quite high. They had master's degree or PhD in their majority. They taught students foreign language, and for the majority of the students, this language was L2. And their modules that they use in instruction was mostly face-to-face. 78% taught face-to-face, while blended learning and online distance learning models were also used quite widely, which for us at least came as a surprise, because the data, once again, they were taken before the pandemic. So we may assume that in the current situation, the situation has changed even more and more teachers are engaged, or sorry, are involved in blended learning or online and distant learning. Then we asked the teachers about the language learning instructional models they use in their teaching practice daily. And we wanted to evaluate these 10 models that you can see on the slide. We suggested the respondents to mark them as their core methodology or auxiliary one. You can see the core methodology response in dark blue. Lighter blue is the auxiliary methodology. Gray colors shades are related to the I do not use these methodologies for different reasons. And the green zone presents I need training in this particular methodologies. So as you can see here, the most used instructional models as core ones were content-based language learning and task-based language learning. And as auxiliary models, the most popular were project-based language learning and game-based language learning. When we asked the respondents about their attitude towards digital technology in language teaching, we faced some interesting results here, because we find out that they are mostly overall positive towards using digital technologies in their practice. However, they were less certain about the role of digital technologies in student progress. And we go further. So the respondents assessed themselves as mostly intermediate in digital literacy. And as we can see on the following slide, they were not quite satisfied with this, because 71% of the teachers agreed that they would like to get some training. They are not satisfied with their current expertise in digital language teaching. In their daily teaching practice, the respondents use digital technologies mostly for communication and collaboration, as well as for professional development and record keeping. Moreover, 66% of the respondents instruct students on the use of digital technologies implemented in the classroom. Then what is related improvements? As I have mentioned before, the majority of the respondents assessed themselves as intermediate, their level of expertise as intermediate, and they required mostly advanced training, and they would like to participate in this kind of training. And the format for this possible training could be blended learning, or even more preferably online or distance learning. Their motivation behind getting this training is mostly getting new knowledge and the skills, so getting the professional development. We also asked about institutional support for enhancing digital competencies, and we found out that only half of the respondents could get this training on site, I mean within the employment institutions, and this kind of trainings were organized randomly or once a year, so not really often. So on the positive side, those who have participated in some kind of professional development trainings, they assessed this new experience as positive and useful. So 63% used and actually implemented into practice their new knowledge. And finally, we inquired about institutional aid for personal development towards digital competencies. We asked what employing institution could do to achieve a higher level of digital language teaching expertise. And you can see the results on the slide. And what is interesting, the unlimited access to the equipped classrooms assessed very useful for the teachers, which we find interesting. So all in all, we could conclude that 71% of teachers are not satisfied with their level of digital language teaching experience, and so they would like to get the training. 95% of them can improve their digital language teaching expertise by participating in external digital literacy training program. They require training to use the following methodologies: eclecticism, inquiry-based language learning, problem-based language learning, and collaborative knowledge building. And finally, the language teachers believe that experience exchange is the most effective format for to improve their digital literacy. These are the pretty much all the main results I would like to point out. And now I'm giving floor to my colleague, Maria Perifano. Thank you for your attention.